Okay, in the DraftSight CAD warm-up, we're really going to focus on object 8, 9, and 10. There's a few drawings that we started out just to work with a few skills that we've learned in other years, such as offset, extend, trim, and mirror and rotate. So we're going to go through drawing number 8 right now and just sort of take you through some of the skills and different approaches to reverse engineering the drawing and completing it. All right, so object number 8, they give you a circle right here, roughly in the middle, and so the drawing is fairly symmetrical. So if we can figure out one half of this, we could copy it and paste it up here, and that's what we're going to try to do. So right here in the middle, 0, 0, that's where we're going to start, so I'm going to delete the circle. So it says right here that the circle is 1 1/8. Well, the symbol right here indicates that that means diameter. So the first thing we're going to do is place the circle right at 0, 0. So if you're not locking onto 0, 0, please type 0, 0 in the command line down here. Okay, so you'll notice that right here for options, I'm going to type D for diameter, and I'm going to type 1-1/8, enter. Okay, there's my circle. So I'm going to need a reference line because what I'm going to try to do is use these dimensions to figure out where to go. So I'm going to need a line, and I'm going to draw a line right through the center here, and I'm going to pick a random length, and I'm going to go down here and turn on snap. Now, snap is going to allow me to hook onto each one of these dots and move in very specific increments. So I'll go right here. Again, this is a random length, right? So this tool right here is very important for this drawing. It's called offset. Now, offset is going to create parallel lines, and you'll see parallel lines all the way over the object. First and most important thing is trying to figure out where to start. Well, from my center point here, this first line is 1 inch down from the circle center. Well, I've just created a line here. So again, watch how offset works. Offset, it wants to know the distance. That's 1 inch down. So I'm going to type the number 1 in the command line, enter. It says specify source entity, and that's this line right here. And then it wants to know the side or destination. I want it to be down here somewhere. Okay, so I've just made this line right here, right here. Okay, technically I don't need, I'm going to press enter to get out of this. Technically I don't need this line, so I'm going to delete it for right now. I can redraw it later if I need to. Now the next thing I'm going to do is figure out how long it is. Well, okay, this is where you're going to have to figure out. They don't really give you a lot of information about where this reference point is, so I'm not going to do that just yet. I do know that if I make another reference line off of the center, it's 1 inch over. So once I reverse engineer this and figure out, okay, well, what's the border, where's the location? Again, I'm going to draw another reference line, random length again, hooking onto that center point, and I'm going to offset that 1 inch, enter. Okay, now again, I'm going to delete this line because I don't need it right now. So what I've done here, I've created this corner right here. Okay, so I'm going to trim some things by highlighting it, clicking with scissors. I'm going to trim out this and this because I don't need those right now. But I do need to figure out this border because I only have the inside segments here. So the border is 1/4 inch, and once I figure that out, I'm ready to roll. I can do everything else. So what I'm going to do here is offset 1/4 inch. So that's 0.25 or 1/4. And I'm going to offset this line over, this line up. Press enter. Before I move on, I'm going to clean out this area right here by trimming. And what I do is select it first and press enter. Okay, now that I've done that, my dimensions always go from these two outside lines. So it says this line right here is 3 inches over, so I'm going to offset 3, enter. Okay, now that line is pretty close, so what you can do is click on the line segment, drag this over so it hooks onto the endpoint. And if you need to turn off snap, sometimes snap gets in the way. I'll do that, and it should hook right on there. Okay, great. Now what I can do is take this line and drag this blue box straight down. Now you'll notice I'm going at an angle here. I don't want to do that. I want to actually turn on this little ortho symbol so it comes straight down, because I'm going to need this for later. Being that that's a 1/4 inch away, what I can do is draw another line right here and drag that straight down. Again, these are random lengths, but based on my dimensions, I know that I have to offset this line down 2.5 inches. That's easy. So one thing I can do is take this, drag this down to the endpoint, hit escape, and now I'm going to offset. I'm going to set my distance to 2.5. Okay, I know that that's a 1/4 inch offset, so I'm going to repeat offset here. Set my distance to 0.25. We're good. So before I go too far, again, I'm going to trim out things I don't need, which is that, and that. Okay, we're not done with the bottom just yet because we have to make this length. So this segment to here, from here to here, is 5.5. So I'm going to offset. Set my distance to 5.5, enter, and I'm going to offset over to here. Okay, now I'm all set to go. I'm just going to take this line, I'm going to click on the blue hot point and bring that to there. Okay, so before I move any further, what I can do is offset this. What I'm not going to do at this point, let me move this out of the way while that pops up. I can take this line and drag this up, because I'll need it later, but again, I am going to be using trim and extend, and I'm going to drag this over. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is offset this line 1/4 inch, 0.25. There we go. So before I move on, I'm going to get rid of things I don't need. Now this drawing is about done. Okay, if you think about this up here being the exact same distance here, what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to find a center point, and it looks like this is a center point. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to draw that line right through the center. So I have to turn snap on to do this, because I'm going to lock right onto this point and go right through the center. Now what I'm going to do is highlight everything, trim out things I don't need. Okay, now we're good to go. So what I'm going to do is copy everything. And it's okay if I copy the circle. Sometimes that might actually help me out. So I'll copy everything. And this is the copy icon. Now, before I do anything, I want to make sure that I copy it from the right point. So I'm going to copy. It's going to ask from what point. I'm going to click on. And again, I might have to turn on snap to do this, or E-snap. I'm going to click onto the center point. I'm just going to move it over. Okay, there it is. Now, obviously, it's not in the right location. It's not the same. I have to rotate it. So what I'm going to do is highlight it again, and I'm going to use this icon called rotate. And my reference point is going to be the center of the circle. And I'm just going to rotate. So I'm just moving the mouse until I see the shape the way I need it to be, which is that. And as soon as I see that, I'm going to click. There it is. Now what I can do is highlight it again, and I can move this into place from the center point to the center point. Okay? Once I'm done with that, I'm going to delete this twice because I just copied it, and that's it. Make sure you save your drawing, and we'll go through and show you how to take this and put it onto your Google Doc.